Okay. Good evening. My name is Daryl Bennett, and I'm doing an interview with Brother Greg Hastel. He's a pastor with Liberty Holiness Church here in Georgia, and a good friend of mine. I've known him for several years. And Brother Greg, will you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 44 years old. I have been pastoring out at Liberty Church now for going on 3 years. I've been involved in various areas of ministry. Since 1998, I've taught kindergarten Sunday school right up through senior adult Sunday school. I've helped in a lot of different areas in the church. Became born again when I was 7 years old, received baptism of the Holy Spirit whenever I was 18 years old. Felt from an early age that God had a call on my life, and it's just took up until the last few years for me to humble myself and follow Him in His direction, what He wants me to do.
But Greg, as we go, I'm going into the ministry, as we go to be leaders, rather in the ministry of work, we'll monitor places where we have to use to solve problems for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask this question first. How do you define conflict management?
Conflict management. I guess whether it would be in a church situation or in a work situation, where you might have 2 or 3 different individuals that have 2 or 3 different ideas as to how something needs to be done, how it needs to run, what the final objective needs to be.
Do you find that conflict management is just relied upon the leadership, or you think it goes deeper to those that's under the leadership?
I think that the leadership should play a part in it, but I feel like some of the people under the leadership, maybe deacons, trustees, or whatever, they should play a role in the management part of it. Everybody automatically looks to the pastor since he is the head, the leader of the church, but just like in the Bible with Moses and his father-in-law Jethro, he's seen everybody was coming to Moses with everything, and there were some things that could have been taken care of without Moses micromanaging everything. If that makes sense.
It seems like today everybody's got a philosophy on life, philosophy on how church should be run. What is your philosophy of conflict management? And what's the principles that guide you?
Every decision that I make that has to do with the church is through prayer. Not only prayer on my part, but my people, others that are in leadership up under me, my trustees, deacons, or whatever, if something comes up, we all pray about it, see what the Lord shows us, because, you can get tunnel vision. One person can get tunnel vision. They can think, well, mine is the only way, mine is the only answer. But if you pray about it and you sit down and discuss it with one another and talk things out, you can see the other person's side of it. You can see there may be something that you see that they bring out that maybe I didn't see to start with. And by having more than one person to bounce it off of, so to speak, you can get more of an insight, because there may be someone within our group, within the trustee part of it, within the deacon part of it, that they may have dealt with the same situation somewhere else. And a lot of times it may not necessarily be within the church itself, because there's so many things in our everyday work life that we can tie into church. But I guess just prayer. That's my main thing. Any decision we go to make as far as the church, we go to the Lord with it in prayer, and I guess that would be my motto or whatever, is take it to the Lord. Take it to the Lord.
For me personally, I would add for myself is to have the discernment of the Holy Spirit.
Yes, that's
because
right.
there's areas you get into. We was studying about how there is more than one truth.
Mm-hmm.
My truth may be different than what the actual truth is, and we have to be able to discern that.
Exactly.
How would you characterize your conflict management style? Are you authoritative, or democratic, or hands-off?
A lot of it has to do with the situation. Because being the pastor is not going to always make the popular choices. We can look in the Bible and see that there was things that God called men to do that not everybody understood it, and some didn't go along with it. But for the most part, if you feel like you're doing what is of the Lord, it should be done in an authoritative position because of you being the pastor. But then you can be, it needs to be as democratic as can be as possible. Some things, and it goes back to like what we were saying earlier, to where the pastor does not have to micromanage. Some areas, the pastor can be more of a hands-off and kind of be the one that I'm here if you need me, if that makes any sense, rather than being right in the middle of it or thinking, well, it's got to be my way. The pastor can kind of step back, and what that does is that helps nurture and bring forth the gifts that are in the people that surround him too. Because the pastor may see gifts in other people that they don't really see in themselves, but by letting them take hold and coming on, it may help to bring that gift forth in that person.
Who has been had the most influence, or has been a role model for you in your pursuit, if I may say, of conflict management, or as a pastor?
There's been several men. There have been Jimmy Henson. He was my pastor growing up. I seen different things, things that would come up, things that would arise. Your pastor here, Brad McVeigh. I was not going here during the time Pastor Brad is here, but just from what I have taught with him, I've shared with him, as well as with the congregation. I looked at him as my pastor too, because there's been times that I have went to him for, counseling, I guess you would say, or for an ear to bend. So that would be two right off the top of my head that I can think of.
How would you say you learned your conflict management skills? Did you have a mentor that helped you, or
trial and error? Trial and error. That's a lot of it is and that's where I guess when I gave you the answer a while ago about prayer, and then like what you were talking about, the discernment from the Holy Spirit, is we have a tendency of times of trying to handle things ourselves, and whenever we get out of the picture, and let God do what He wants to do, and then that discernment come in. And you can, like I said with Pastor Brad and with Pastor Henson, you can talk with them because they are in like positions. They may have been through, like we said earlier, may have been down the same road that I'm going down, and they can give me the support and guidance I need. But a lot of it is just, you're going to have to do it yourself. You're going to have to really go through it yourself to see what you would do for your situation.
Trying to think how to work is, when you enter into conflict management with someone, trying to coach them through, thinking you have to always enter with a positive attitude, or are you going nonchalant, like, I'm just going to go with an attitude that that's not what you want.
I'm sorry.
And have you experienced that attitude, if not within yourself, within someone else at your church or at your work?
I have, anytime I try to address anything, I try to go in with a positive attitude. I try to go in with the attitude of, I'm going to respect this person and hear what they got to say, and I want them to respect me and what I've got to say. A lot of times, and this is primarily, I guess I can say, just from a work standpoint more than from a pastoral standpoint right now, is I've dealt with that more on a work basis, to where you would be trying to explain something to somebody. They're like, no, that won't work. And at least try it before you completely shoot me out of the water. And what I've learned a lot of times is go ahead and let them have their say, let them do whatever it is they're going to do, ride their high horse or whatever, and then when it works around, do it with humility and be as humble as you can, But even if the respect is not shown to you, still try to show the other person respect.
Now, time is getting short for this video, but we had a question about how we handle conflict at work, and I know people can be difficult, and there's different ways to handle it that you can approach it. You can go by the standard way, try to find out what's going on and how to fix it. And sometimes you can get into that trail to keep on turning the same questions over and over again and never getting anywhere. Have you ever been to the point that you may feel like, while dealing with conflict, that you just keep going in circles?
Oh yeah.
And how did he write that?
Well, the definition, I don't know if you ever heard this, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing day after day and expecting something different. That's the definition of insanity. And, until one person, steps up and says, okay, we have looked at this, we know what the problem is, now let's address the problem. Until somebody stands up, and when I say stand up, I don't mean in an arrogant way, but like I said, do everything in humility, do it out of love, whether it be in the church, whether it be in the workplace, but do it, okay, I know if I do this, this will get us closer to the answer. You do this will get us closer to the answer. And if everyone would be willing to see what they could do to get them closer to the answer, they would have some resolution to it before it was over.
There's a saying, and I may mess this up, but so you cannot change the world in one day. Do you think that one person can change the attitude and the outcome of someone in a conflict for the positive?
Can one person change the attitude and the outlook of another person?
Right.
My honest answer is no. Because that's my honest answer from experience that I have had, because people have a tendency of wanting to fall back into that trap, or into that going around the mountain deal, like the 40 years with the children of Israel. It's easier to blame someone else than to say, okay, am I part of the problem or am I part of the solution? And, can one person change things? Yeah, but I don't know if one person can change another person.
Yeah. One last question. What advice would you have for someone that's going into leadership as far as that will consist of conflict management? What one advice would you have for them as they look toward getting into a position like that?
One of the things that I would definitely, I would want people around me that I could count on, people that were stable, people that will tell me, you have a lot of yes men out there, and that's what a lot of people are looking for, is yes men. But I would want somebody around me that's honest, that we could have a good enough relationship that we could agree to disagree, if that makes any sense. Right. That they would be led of God in all things, because you stop and think about it from a leadership standpoint. You don't have to know all of the answers if you surround yourself with the right people. You don't have to know all the answers yourself, because you'll have people around you that you can glean from this person or glean from that person, and it can help you in the decisions that you got to make. So I guess it would be just have good people around. Good people around.
Well, Brother Greg, I want to thank you for your time and for sitting down and doing this interview with me.
I appreciate it.